Hello and welcome back. This is part 6 of the Heaven Visions and stories that I want to share with you guys of what the Lord's given me over the past few years. And so this one started with, he said, "Come," and I took his hand, and Jesus showed me, he opened a door, and out of that door we fell, kind of floated / fell onto this bed of really thick moss and really cushy just moss, and it went very far in every direction and just laid there. And then suddenly we were on a bike, and he was driving the bike and I was sitting back facing the other way, and flying on the bike through Galaxies and past all these things, and I was able to see them whizzing past and see all these just amazing things. So again, what I've said in the other ones, these are the kinds of things that you have to have a childlike heart, or it just sounds kind of ridiculous to you if you are too prideful. And so it makes a lot of sense that the Lord said you have to receive the kingdom of heaven like a little child and become like a little child to enter there, because it's full of, heaven is full of childlike things, and it's all super amazing and super awesome. So yeah, this is just not something that I would have thought of riding on the back of a bike with Jesus through the galaxies. But those are the kinds of amazing things that are in heaven. You can open a door and it goes on forever, and then you can instantly be in another place. And after that, he took me to a dance hall, looked like, and it was very shiny, pristine floors. It was like an outdoor kind of pavilion type of thing, and it had columns all around it, so the floors were super shiny and just gorgeous, and the columns, the pillars were very very beautiful, intricately carved, and then he said, "What does it need?" And then he waved his hand, and these flowering vines came up and grew around the pillars. And then he danced with me in this place, and then he said, "I have to go." And I said, "Can I come with you?" And he said, "Yes, you can come." And so he took me to we flew and appeared before the Pope, and we were standing before the Pope, and I saw that Jesus took his crown or hat that the Pope was wearing. He took it off of his head, and he gave him something else, and I didn't know what it was that he gave him. It looked like muddy, kind of grayish, muddy colored. It looked really bad and gross, and he gave him something else instead. And I was like, "What did you give him?" And he said, "I gave him scorn." So he removed his crown or his hat or his symbol of authority and gave him instead scorn. And then he took the hat, and this is kind of, I guess, just shows the the humor of Jesus. But he said, "Do you want it?" to me, and I'm like, "No, no, no, no." And he just laughed. Of course he knew I didn't want it, but he's kind of joking with me. He knows I would never want to have that type of position or anything, and so I think he just laughed. It's kind of just messing with me. And then an angel came. He called an angel, and he handed the Pope's crown. I'm calling it a crown. It was the hat that the Pope wears. He gave it to the angel, and the angel brought it to a room in heaven where, and I could see from where we were standing, I could still see it, and looking into heaven, I could see these shelves, and each of the popes throughout history, their the crowns are there. And so he went and set it on the shelf, and that was the rest of that vision. So yeah, you can gather from that what seems obvious there. I don't think I need to explain that one much. It's just, it is what it is. And I wasn't told when that's going to happen. It's just something that happened. So another one I wanted to share with you guys is the place for the children. And this is a very, very special place, very dear to the Lord's heart and his heart for the children. And so he took me along I don't know why it makes me so nervous to share these things. But he took me along this hall, and the floor, I noticed the floors had black and white tiles that were not diagonal, they were straight and in rows. And I was looking at the black and white tiles, and I thought to myself, is that a bad thing? Like, I know that I've heard people say that the black and white tiles is like a symbol that the enemy uses, that the devil uses in like movies and television as a bad thing. And so I was like, it kind of confused me. I didn't ask him at the moment, but I was just like, what? And so at the end of this hall, there's a tiny little door. This kind of makes me think of Alice in Wonderland a little bit. But there's this tiny little door that's just the right size for a small child, about like maybe 3 or 4 years old. And we both shrank. This is again such childlike things in heaven. We both shrunk and went through the door, and inside of this room, each room can be like a whole world, but it was just a meadow, beautiful meadow with trees and grass and flowers and children playing, and they were like circles of young children holding hands and playing and singing, and they were just, they had not a care in the world. They were so happy, and it was just a place where they could completely be free and zero worry about anything, and they were completely happy there. And I was just like, oh, it hurt my heart. And I was just like, man, Lord, I wish all the children could be here. And he said, I do too. And then he understood my question that I was just thinking about the tile. And he said, Satan knows this place well, and he uses that to, what are the words? He uses that to say that he is after the children. And so when he's using the symbolism of the black and white tiles in movies and television and stuff like that, he's using it as a mockery against God, because he knows about this place in heaven that is the place for the children, and this beautiful place that's really important to the Lord because of how much he loves children. And for Satan to mock God and make fun of this place in heaven and say that he is after the children. So that was that place. So I'm gonna keep sharing these things. Again, you've got to have a childlike heart to be able to receive these things. But these are real places. These are real things that the Lord has shown me that truly physically exist in heaven. And so these are precious jewels and gems, and please handle them respectfully. And if you don't have a heart that's able to receive these things, and just move on. And but this is for the people that have that childlike heart and can receive it, and for the people who will, it will build up and encourage and teach. So that's all for now.